welcome to the Vergecast. Wait, I thought I was talking that. It's already started great.
Oh,
hey, and welcome to the Vergecast on CES day. This is officially day one. This is day one.
What?
This is the first day the floor is open.
Yesterday was day zero.
Yesterday was day zero.
Right.
CES day one.
This is the first day of the show?
We're here live from beautiful downtown Las Vegas in the parking lot adjacent to the Las Vegas Convention Center.
Under the monorail.
Under the monorail, the scenic monorail, wherein Las Vegas Convention Center, wherein the Consumer Electronics Show is in fact occurring during business hours, which end at some point. Anyhow, I'm Josh Topolsky.
I'm Paul Miller.
And we have a very special guest.
Nilay Patel.
Nilay Patel here with us, who is, I'll be honest, he looks a little different after a few days of CES.
I don't feel so good. I'll be honest with you.
I think there's something wrong with Nilay, and I'm concerned, but I also feel like he looks a little better too in a way. Certainly slightly lighter.
Either way, I could learn to love this Nilay.
This Nilay is lovable.
Do you want me to talk to you guys about patent law?
Please.
Yes.
So I can
just give us a quick rundown.
It's all messed up right now, and things are getting real bad out there.
Keep going.
And the government needs to take some responsibility.
Yes. Go on.
Okay?
I get behind
we
that.
need to stop capitulating to the corporate interests.
Basically, this is basically the old Nilay's back, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I'm back.
I lean into your shot. Back and better than ever.
But this is actually Chris Grant.
This is Chris Grant, editor-in-chief of Polygon.com, our sister site, our little baby sister.
And everyone knows that I'm here, along with Mick McWhirter, because CES is the biggest gaming trade show of the year.
Actually, the biggest, most interesting stuff at this show has been gaming.
Happens to be gaming.
Has been gaming related.
I will say that this time last week, I tried hanging myself, knowing that CES was coming, and then I got interrupted. And then I tried drinking and taking a lot of pills, and that didn't work.
Yeah, that was a cry for help.
Yeah.
You didn't really want to die. You just wanted someone to know how much you were hurting
and how much
about
I didn't
CES.
want to be at CES right now. And now I'm here. And I will say, quite honestly, this is the most exciting CES I've ever been to.
I actually...
Really?
I'm going to say...
That's a big statement.
I'm going to say this is one of...
This is number 6 or 7.
I'm going to say this is one of the most exciting I've been to. I don't know why. There have just been interesting... I can't explain it.
I am having more fun this year, but I don't know why.
I think there's a couple of reasons. And then we'll get into it. First off, I think there have been a couple of really interesting developments.
4K.
No, I think there's no.
It's higher resolution than.
I saw. I watched
Ultra HD.
I looked at 4K today, by the way.
It's pretty great.
I'm not impressed. I'm not that impressed.
You're impressed.
I'm a little impressed. It's just a higher resolution.
It is. It's
I'm used to
exactly
higher
what it is.
resolution displays.
Right.
An iPad 3 right in front of you is basically like it's like 2.5K TV.
Right.
Whatever. I have an iPad. I don't need a 4K TV.
Huh?
Yeah.
Anyhow. But let's talk about the iPad. Okay. I want to talk about CES.
Why do you like CES?
I think just been cool stuff happening. I also think, we had last night we talked about this Qualcomm keynote, which was just absolutely terrible. But I feel like we made lemonade out of the lemons of it by kind of poking fun at it, which was really enjoyable. And I think people enjoyed it. And what I will say is, we were poking fun at that, but what I realized truly today is that really doesn't represent this show. That stuff doesn't represent what's going on at this show.
I think at one point it used to.
No, I think maybe before Qualcomm did what they did last night, it used to. But no, Microsoft was so tone deaf usually, but it was not as tone deaf.
Right.
Qualcomm was so very tone deaf that it made me realize that what happens on the floor, and then I went out on the floor today to do this Sony interview, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but I was like, CES has got some weird, interesting stuff going on out there that has nothing to do with the garbage that we saw.
I saw the Qualcomm thing. You know why I didn't think it was weird? I didn't even bat an eye, which is sad. I feel like I'm like a rock. I don't know how to feel anymore.
Yeah.
I've seen a Konami E3 press conference. And until you've seen a Konami E3 press conference,
I've heard
where
of
they
these.
play their own game, fail at it, and get up and leave the stage, and then stop their press conference. And you're like, wait, what just happened? when you see that, well, then you haven't lived, brother.
Also, Chris and I, for the announcement of, like the pre-announcement of the Kinect, I forget what it even was. We went, it was at E3 one year, went to a Coliseum and stood in ponchos.
That was for Kinect, yeah. We stood in white ponchos.
We stood in white ponchos.
They gave them to you?
Milling around, waiting.
It was like if Cirque du Soleil and, what was that band that had like...
Fall Out Boy.
Close.
Oh! They did the album, the Black Parade. My Chemical Romance.
No, it was 1,000 people wearing like all white, and they did like choir songs. It was
Polyphonic Spree.
Polyphonic Spree.
Yeah,
you got me on that.
And Cirque du Soleil had a baby.
And it was literally.
Wait, didn't Microsoft do this?
Microsoft, yeah.
Oh yeah. I remember that. That was 2 years ago.
It was literally Cirque du Soleil.
It was for like, what was it for?
It was for Kinect.
Kinect, right. Right, Project Natal.
And it was just a whole experience, and it had really nothing to do with the actual
press
that
events.
Movement.
But you're right. On the show floor, there is serious product.
Weird.
There is
no, it's
Android
so much.
tablet. You know what is at this show?
I actually, for a second, thought there was a cool Polaroid product. For just 1 second, and then I was like, "Oh, this is the worst garbage ever."
Every permutation of an Android tablet, and then the same thing being on your TV, and then you're controlling with a gamepad and a keyboard and a tablet and a phone.
See, that's the exciting stuff.
I have to say, like I wrote this thing. I keep referencing it, but today I saw it in action. We have no idea what we're doing with all this technology yet, and we're just starting to figure it out. They're just starting to go, "Whoa, we could do." The phone could do this on the TV.
That's so awesome, though.
What is happening?
Here's why it's exciting for me. I keep feeling I'm seeing all these products. I saw the Arcos TV today, the Arcos TV Connect, where it's a tablet. It's an Android tablet on your TV. How do you control an Android tablet on your TV? It's like, it's so simple on a tablet, and all of a sudden it's like, well, that's really hard. But the idea is cool, right? Like, the idea of putting
Arcos
this stuff...
is not known for like
Well, the Arcos
blockbuster.
gamepad, did you play with the gamepad though?
Yeah, you're apparently really excited about this. I wanted us to
gamepad.
cover the gamepad so we could just do the headline that we did.
What is the headline?
Which was, watch out, Project Shield, here comes the Arcos gamepad.
Here's the thing about
it looks really bad.
Here's the thing about even the Arcos gamepad, or it's almost the same exact thing as the TV.
Right.
It remaps inputs to buttons. Like, it's very close.
No, I don't think Arcos is
here's the thing, like
the company that's gonna...
But
why are we talking about Arcos right now?
Crack that nut.
I think Arcos is a good example of like, this is how much technology you've got in just a dinky little crappy product that's like $160.
Bingo.
Yeah.
It has like a PSP style gamepad. You can map buttons to any touchscreen game, so they don't have to redevelop the games to connect to the gamepad.
Right.
So you can map the buttons, but it's like $160 something. It plays these games. You know, NVIDIA.
$169.
Oh, sorry, $169.
I'm
sure NVIDIA is, the Project Shield, which I don't actually know much about at all because I haven't seen it. But
Shield.
But I'm sure it's going to be way better graphics stuff. But all that stuff's going to be locked up in the Tegra zone.
Right.
I'm very dubious on all these products. Here's the thing: I think this is the most exciting CES because of all these products.
Yeah.
But I am. No. I would put money on saying that they're all going to fail.
No, I would say that we are seeing a lot of things that are not necessarily
experiments.
Slam dunks. They are experiments.
Yeah.
Or they're, let's throw it out there and see if somebody likes it, or let's just try this out.
I'd play some emulated PlayStation games.
You're going to say that right here on...
that sounds awesome. I would.
You of course own the physical copies.
I own the physical copies.
Of course.
I own numerous physical copies of numerous original PlayStation.
Here's the thing about it though. The way I've been looking at it is at first I saw it as Android,
Solid.
but now with all this Steambox stuff, Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid 2.
But now that
Snake's Revenge.
That was
Snake's Revenge. Is that what it's called?
Sons of Liberty was Metal Gear Solid 2.
Seriously, I call something like
Metal Gear 2 was Snake's Revenge.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Metal Gear.
So for a second I thought I was kidding, and then I went, no, wait a second.
That's real.
That's an actual Metal Gear title.
But not canonical. See, who am I looking at? That person? Not canonical. Anyway.
You know why? No canons in it.
Snake never gets revenge.
Let's go into the history of it. It was actually developed by Konami instead of... Anyway. So...
not canonical.
Oh. Yeah, all right. Yeah, judges say yes.
That you pipe and smoke it.
So,
the people at home, you are putting it in your pipe and smoking it.
There's a guy on his couch right now who's like, is that what I'm smoking? Oh, man.
Put that in your apple and smoke it.
This is fresh. But the point being is, the interesting thing is that there's this, at CES here, consumer electronics.
Yeah.
It's normally terrible for games because games for years have operated outside of this sort of or I shouldn't say operated, they've been defined outside of the realm of consumer electronics, right?
Nintendo is the perfect example.
It's been pushed by console makers, which I don't think of as consumer electronics makers, right? They make platforms, they maintain them. So even when Microsoft was here, they would talk about like some Xbox stuff, which usually never happened, IPTV or whatever. Sony is here to talk about how PlayStation has great Blu-ray,
Great content.
Yeah. You know, but they're not talking about games. They control ecosystems and content. But now all of a sudden, when you have software platforms that are open, and you can have companies plug into those just by making hardware that works with it. So Android, not the best gaming platform, but the fact that it's open means you can have Ouya, or GameStick, or Green Throttle Gaming, or Project Shield, or Arcos TV, or I'm probably forgetting some. There's a ton of things here that are just plugging into Android.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of them are going to work, but the fact that they're making them,
I think it's
is
possible,
really
but
exciting.
I think it's also true that it's possible that they can work. And Ouya, I mean,
Ouya
I
is
don't know,
close.
but I think it's possible it could be something special, and it could be an alternative or just a completely different experience to what we have now. Speaking of, can I segue into? Can I get a segue? There's one outside. I'd like to ride it into.
Well, I do want to say, like, almost all of these sound like I don't think I want to buy into that because I've got to buy in and go all the way. But I really could actually see myself getting that Arcos. Like I've never thought
to see you get that Arcos.
I've never thought that.
Hey guys, what are you doing?
I will give you the money.
Oh, this is my
to
7-inch.
buy the Arcos. And by the way, the way
7-inch
the way
tablet.
CES works, you folks at home may not know this, but
Because Josh gives you all sorts of money all the time.
if you're at CES, I'll give you enough money to buy whatever you want. Just kidding. Did I need to say just kidding? I don't know anymore.
Just kidding.
Sometimes people can't. Sometimes people say, Josh, you're so earnest. You speak so earnestly.
And you're always sharing truth.
And you're always sharing truth and being laying down truthiness. That
Dropping knowledge.
I don't know when you're being sarcastic.
Yeah. Josh has a little card that he holds up sometimes that says JK, and so he'll just hold it up.
I'm just when
So he
I'm
wants to
talking.
say it, he'll just JK.
What was I going to say? I was going to buy you the Arcos.
You're gonna give him
I was like,
a
no, I was going to say, if you guys don't know this at home, that at the end of the show, sometimes some of the manufacturers here, usually the ones in like the international wing pavilion, where they come back with a bunch of stuff, they'll sell you
because
they will. What's happening?
You just go over there.
They will sell you stuff.
Because
They'll
it's so
sell you
expensive.
You're like, are you
fly
gonna take the keyboard with the purple keys? You're not taking that back, are you?
Right.
I'll give you $15.
Hold on a second. That's a mouse pad, but it's also a foot massager. Can I bring that home?
Do you have a second one? Do I need one for each foot, or is that?
But in dollars, not yen. I don't know what the yen is. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But there are things here that I actually
Have
do.
you seen this? Have you done
I
this?
do want to
I'll
buy.
look this up while you're doing this.
Yeah.
If you get the CES app, did you guys get the app?
It had such bad reviews that
No, it's cool
I
though.
didn't download it.
If you go to the list of
He can't
exhibitors,
get the app.
Yeah, no,
Come on,
he
man.
can't. You get the list of exhibitors. I'm going to scroll through it here. I'm just going to show these guys because you guys can't see it at home. Watch what happens when I get to S and I get to Shenzhen. Those are all companies that begin with the name Shenzhen. Did you see that?
Yeah.
There's like 200 companies that begin with
That's
Shenzhen. So
amazing.
that's the international hall. It's incredible.
Anyhow.
There's even some Shenzhens in the Central Hall.
Yes,
They sneak out.
Some Shenzhens have. they escape.
There's a Shenzhen right
They
next
make a
to
run
the
for freedom to the
There's a Shenzhen right next to the
to the
Arcos.
Central Hall.
They've gotten there. If anyone's been to E3 for a long time, there was Kensha Hall, which is where you saw all the weird stuff. They shut it down eventually. It's the new Kensha Hall.
What if the international
But it's been there for a while. It's always been
international hall
there.
was just one big plane of people from China, and it lands and it unfolds,
and like the door, like the sides of it crack open, and it just goes like that.
Like
and it's a wandering exhibit.
And then it folds back up and they fly back to China.
Anyhow, I do want to talk about something that is here that I do want to spend money on, and will spend money on copious amounts. Oculus Rift.
Well, I thought we were going to talk about Steambox. We were talking about content.
Okay, I'm going to hold on Oculus Rift.
Yeah, tease that.
Let's talk about Steambox.
But coming up next,
So
Oculus
Steambox.
Rift.
So I just want to say this.
Yeah.
So the Verge had a rumor a couple years, like 6 years ago or something. About,
was-
it's a long time ago. About the
6 months
Steambox,
ago.
and
Yeah.
it said, Valve is working on a console.
We got a lot of ass talked on us about that.
A lot of people were like, yeah, likely. Even today, PC Gamer wrote a report like, there's no Steambox. So I'm going to give credit here. As frustrating as it is, I'm going to tell you the story.
It was not. I didn't
No,
want
I'm
any
gonna tell you
intention
the
to hurt you.
story.
I know you. I
Look,
know.
it hurts.
We both like games. There is
Here.
a certain area of gaming that we obviously are interested
See in
in.
here?
That's,
No.
What is that? You were wearing the same colored
It's the
shirt.
same
Oh,
colored
it's a polygon. It's a polygon. It's exact. Did you coordinate that?
Maybe.
By the way,
When
I've
you
asked.
designed the shirt, did you
I've-
base it on the colors of a shirt you already owned?
Yes.
By the way, I've asked. Cannot get a polygon shirt. No one will give me one.
Limited edition.
Yeah, so limited
Limited
that
edition.
your good buddy over here, your
But I'm gonna tell you what
co-editor in
happened.
chief.
Guys, I want to talk to the people, the American people.
Right.
Talk to you guys at home.
Talk to that. Talk to that camera if you want to talk right to them. Right there.
So
I'm
we
looking
saw
at
the
you.
XI3 yesterday. We talked to them, talked to Valve, talked to everybody else. It's a prototype development stage unit, one of Valve's multiple hardware partners making a Steam box. I went to Valve's booth first thing this morning, literally tracked it down like a bloodhound, sniffed it out. It's not even labeled or anything. Got there, talked to them, and if you've ever worked with Valve, you probably recognize this. They're like, we're not really looking to talk. And it's like, look, just give me 5 minutes. I just want to talk to you guys about something. No, we're not so much. And I was like, I could see Gabe, right when I got there, Gabe was going into a meeting in their closed room. So I was like, look, Gabe's here, like maybe you can make a couple minutes. And they're like, yeah. So I get up talking to Greg Coomer for about 10 minutes. We talk about some stuff. He was the original kind of champion and architect of Steam Big Picture mode, which kind of became this whole effort. Either way, I had to take what you get because Valve is tricky to deal with and leave. I get back to the trailer, maybe 10 minutes later. I find out that the Verge guys saw Gabe going to the bathroom. And basically,
Don't give away all of our trade secrets.
look, it's a trade secret. Here's
So
the,
Gabe
everybody,
going
everybody
to
in the games press knows the only way to get an interview with Gabe is that you have to find him. He's like in a video game where you like uncover something.
Yeah, it's like a secret level.
It's a secret.
You like
Did you find
use the
Gabe?
right
You gotta-
warp tube and you.
If you go
Get
to
to
Gabe's
Gabe.
place, he's never there, but you have
Yeah.
to find him and not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they found Gabe.
You get a
and,
giant gold
and they're just
key.
like, hey, can we talk to you about all this stuff? And he's like, sure.
Yes. We found him in an uncompromising position. No, he wasn't compromised.
They literally bolted the bathroom door shut. Can't get out.
Here's what happened. We have a huge, scary guy that we bring with us. We find out when people we want to talk to are.
We have an intern in each bathroom.
when people are going to the bathroom, and then we have this gentleman stand in front of the door, and we say something along the lines of, I'm not going to quote exactly, but something like, "You'll never walk again if you don't tell us what we want."
Yeah. And when people try and come in,
your family
There's
is.
no soap in the soap dispensers,
We'll-
but we
we'll-
brought hand sanitizer.
We'll list the names of their loved ones.
Addresses.
And not say anything that we're going to do to them.
No,
but
I mean, you're not threatening them
Not
at
say
all.
anything we're going to do to them, but intimate that something bad could happen.
and you also put
we're
an
just
out of
kidding.
order,
Then I hold out my JK card.
so they see it.
No, but
he's out of
we
order.
so what
but
happened?
can I just say?
what happened.
Hold on, wait.
literally don't know what
I
happened.
just can I just say?
You're
Go ahead. Go. Finish your story.
Either way, so the point being is, we were trying to get this, the follow-up work on the Steambox story, and the Verge ended up getting like a killer, massive breakdown. And Gabe's dropping details. He's just like, oh, this is how it's going to work. This thing that they haven't confirmed before. This thing that,
Maybe
like,
he's a head fake. He could have just been lying.
this thing that at the same time they
Now that
publish
I think about
theirs, there's other outlets that are publishing that none of this stuff is true. And Gabe's like, oh, it's not, yeah, but here's basically the details, like specifically.
What are the details? What's happening with Steambox?
Other outlets.
There's some cool. Here's like one of the crazy. So number one, he confirmed that they're. So the idea of the Steambox, it's a press chosen moniker. They've never used that term before.
Okay.
So even as a Steambox, the idea could be that they.
Where did that come from?
Steambox? I think that came from a.
Was it from us?
I think it was from you guys. Might have been.
I think that was part of the original piece of information.
Data. That was delivered. Here's the thing. So they never talked about the specifically the Steambox, and they had talked, as early as last night or this morning, about multiple kind of Steam boxes, multiple hardware partners making devices that would be compatible or optimized for Steam Big Picture. But today, Gabe was like, "Yeah, we're going to make our own and ship it ourselves."
Crazy.
no equivocation, just straight up. We're making our own device and we're going to
He's
ship
just getting
it.
tired of. He's supposed to be so tired of saying no. He's like,
We're
"Look,
making
this
one."
is not my deal. I make
Here's the thing,
games.
it's going to run Linux. It's going to be Linux. If they want Windows, they can put Windows on it. He said we won't make it hard. If you want Windows, have Windows. But
it'll run Linux,
it'll run Linux.
and it'll have Steam on Linux, and then what games are there?
There's a handful of Valve games that work on Steam on Linux now.
Right.
But that's it. I mean, I think a big part of this would be if they put their device out on Linux, it's going to be a incentive.
I think here's what's
for
up.
developers to start supporting Linux.
Let's be honest. This is what has to happen. Exclusive Half-Life 3, only on the Steam. Only on.
Cruel of them, though.
Their own audience would literally destroy them. They would completely.
They would actually go. They would get on a bus. They would go to their building, and they would like literally murder them.
Not a plane, because as everyone knows, Valve fans are afraid of flying. Just buses or maybe trains.
No, they'd have to take multiple buses.
Multiple buses, and that motley crew, that mob would descend on Bellevue, Washington.
Rip them.
It just rend them.
Like literally rip them piece by piece apart. Gabe's parts strewn all over the.
Gabe parts?
Gabe parts.
What makes the Steam box so special then? Because Valve is making it?
Here's what Greg Coomer told me. Greg Coomer was really early OG at Valve and was responsible for sort of identifying, he does user experience, UI, and he said it was actually their users that basically told them that we like to play games on our TV, we own games on Steam, why can't, like these things should work better together. And so they said they sort of, the way he thought about it was that Steam was broken in that it wasn't a good TV experience. Like this is not just like we need to make this better, but like it's actually broken. This is what users expect. We know our users like games on television and in the living room. That's what's been happening in our industry for a decade. Right. So they need to fix it. So the big picture was not a new feature, it was a fix on something that they considered broken. They said at the time that they started talking about this, which was about 2 years ago, they were quote unquote surprised that the PC manufacturers hadn't done more work to sort of meet them there. That they thought that PC manufacturers were going to be making PCs.
It's funny.
That were quiet.
It's actually
that
really
looked good in the living room.
It's really funny. Actually,
wasn't there a rumor that who somebody was making?
We talked about this.
Or Asus?
One of those
Alienware, the X51.
It was the Alienware box that you were basically like, yeah, that's the chassis in essence. Yeah. But what's funny is coming back to that point you were making about the Android stuff and the Michael. Do we have a refill of beer for this guy, or is that possible? I mean, anybody here could get to Tyler's here. He could do it. Michael, you don't have to go. Tyler, let Tyler go. Let Tyler. You wanted to.
I went to college.
You wanted this. You wanted the screen time. We have to pay him extra now. We have to pay him a couple $100 because he's also now in the Screen Actors Guild. But it's funny to come around to what you were just saying about all these things with Android and the idea that you could build a TV and you have this gaming built into the TV. I was just thinking. Yeah, how come nobody ever made a really high-powered PC with a TV on it?
Yeah,
and it was like we have a mode you can go into and play games,
or even like,
and you can watch whatever.
The interesting thing is like they're looking at it from an ecosystem.
There's a way you could go into. You could go into what's the Apple mode called when you go into the.
You don't want a PC.
Why am I doing this?
You don't want a PC type. No, so here's the thing. We're seeing all these devices that are shipping video up to TV from any other device. Why wouldn't you just ship video from your PC?
But no, I'm saying, but when you talk about that, it's like, PCs just abandoned the living room altogether. They said, that's not where we go.
There's a couple of big reasons why, and I think it's not. You don't have to look far. The most predominant operating system on the market is Windows.
Yeah.
What was Microsoft's play 11 years ago?
Windows Media Center.
Xbox. That was their living room play. They literally made a device that didn't run on Windows, as complicated as that was to sell internally in the Microsoft bureaucracy in 2001. It was even harder in 2005 or before when they shipped Xbox 360. Tasty. I hope it's not Blue Moon again, Michael.
What? No, it's different.
I'll be disappointed.
You can see it's not Blue Moon.
No,
what
it's
kind
cool.
What kind of beer expert are you? Even I know that's not Blue Moon.
Is this Corona?
It's all that was left. I'm sorry in advance.
It's Corona. I could smell it.
And you were complaining about Blue Moon.
Savages drank all the fat tire.
Oh man. Okay. Anyway, so Microsoft made this play for Xbox, and so Windows, they never had an interest. They had Media Center. Media Center did some things, but didn't really do a lot of things well. The idea though was that there was kind of these three components. One was the hardware, one was the operating system, the other was an actual game-centric platform on that device. So Steam said we could take care of the game-centric platform, like we can do that.
Right.
That's on us. The hardware, we're really surprised that hardware manufacturers haven't looked at the success of PlayStation and Xbox and thought, We should do that.
Well, I get that. They have to build all that stuff around it. Because every hardware manufacturer doesn't have what Steam has, which is a vibrant, thriving ecosystem.
50 million users.
With people who love to play games online, in their homes.
So they needed the hardware, and that's where the kind of Steam kind of partnerships came from, where they're like talking to all these hardware manufacturers saying like, we need you guys to build TV kind of living room friendly devices so that we can put Steam Big Picture on it and get this in living rooms. But the other component that they don't have control over is, that's the monorail here, is the operating system.
Right.
And so ultimately,
so they basically made an Android.
Even with
Android PC.
Sort of. Even with Big Picture, when you leave Big Picture on your TV, it's like you're back to the desktop and you've got your gamepad in your hand, and it's like, now what?
Yeah, right.
So Greg Coomer said they had a couple choices. Their choices were to reformat almost the operating system, maybe even under the Steam umbrella, to work. So you still have full operating system, file system access, all that stuff, but
just
it's
like for a TV.
But it's friendly for a TV.
Yeah.
Or get rid of all of it.
Right.
You just boot right into Steam, and it's Steam.
But you're saying that the Linux titles, I mean, there aren't any. If you're not going to get first-run games, you're not going to get the best of Steam.
Valve will be making all of its titles first-run for Linux on day one going forward,
which are wildly popular.
Yeah,
I mean,
if it only played Valve games, you wouldn't be doing bad.
I would be pretty psyched about it personally.
So like that's not a bad place to start from. And you can put Windows on if you want. And I think that there will be other Steam boxes. I think this is Valve's idea, though, is that if you don't like
they want to make the reference.
If you don't like that, we're going to make our reference. If you don't like it, get this one, which has Windows on it. Get this one.
So here's what I want to know. Will the Valve fans, who are very loyal, and dedicated, and wild, will they buy this thing?
Yeah.
You said yeah?
Are these?
I mean, I love the idea.
Are people gonna play Half-Life 3 on a Steam box with joysticks or a mouse and a keyboard?
So I asked him about mouse and keyboard. I asked Coomer about mouse and keyboard. Mouse and keyboard is really tricky because there has yet to be
like a good
couch
version of
mouse and keyboard.
A lot of diehard. I mean, Portal is great with
I actually
joysticks.
think you're not thinking big enough.
Portal is great.
We know that Valve has been experimenting with tons of modular controllers and all kinds of haptic stuff. And
Gabe mentioned gaze tracking.
Yeah. I think this really dovetails nicely into where I'm going to.
Better inputs too.
This really just goes right to where I'm headed. Yeah, I think
that would be great.
Look, if you look at the Wii U and you look at Kinect and you look at what Sony's done with some motion gaming stuff, it's not really. They haven't really pushed it.
Sony's technology is incredible.
It's really good.
It's amazing,
but
man. If I could get
they didn't deliver the software.
3 with the Move controller on my Steam box.
But I'm saying, if you start to think about and the Oculus Rift, which we're going to talk about in a second, you start to think about all of these with that tracking. You didn't use it.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did. Okay, right. Okay.
That game was being streamed from the internet.
No, it wasn't. It's okay. He's still safe.
Just kidding.
I think you start to see a really interesting picture of what. I mean, this is part of our when we first ran the Steambox rumor. The story was that the modular, it all starts to make sense when you think about what they're doing, big picture mode and the controller stuff, and their desire to at least create some sort of reference design or work with partners on building this like
it's exciting.
standalone.
That makes us.
I actually think. By the way, if you got Ouya or the Steambox,
I want both.
Well, you can have both. The Ouya's only $99.
It's $100.
You can just go get it. I already got mine. I'm just waiting for it to be delivered.
It's $100.
Yeah.
Oh.
You didn't know that?
No.
It's $100 with one controller.
Because here's what's exciting about them.
Steal.
What's exciting about them is we're seeing AAA gaming struggle with its entire business model.
Yeah.
Like it's literally struggling. We're seeing independent gaming take off. If only we had more markets, more devices where they could actually monetize those games. We have iOS and iPad, and those are great, and they're making independent development a real future. Yeah. But for certain kinds of games.
You know what I want? Hold on. Can I just say something? This has not happened yet, but it just occurred to me. If you've got a system like Ouya or Steambox, Steambox less so here, but Ouya raises.
Steambox will be pricey.
No, but if it will be pricey. But let's say Ouya, for instance, or if you had it, and you had decent, I'd say good home gaming experiences, and it was built on the Android platform, I think there are some really interesting ideas, some sort of off-screen gaming experiences. Imagine you were playing a role-playing game, and there was something you had I don't know, let's say you could get a farm or something can you do farming in Fable?
Yeah. You have a house, you build your house.
Right, you build a house or whatever, but there are things you have to do at certain times. If you're not gaming at a certain time of day, you get an alert on your Android device, and you open, not necessarily the game, but an app that is talking to that game, and you're tending to. It could be the game itself, and you're tending to some part of the game, specifically to do something or to respond to something that's happening for a timed interval. And then when you go back, that persistent. No, but I just think that there's a huge. That's just like one little weird errant thought that I had. I just think the idea that suddenly.
The developer is Josh Topolsky. It's copyright. Copyright.
Don't use that. If you've got farming in your
Microsoft
RPG.
has been talking about for like 7 years.
But I mean, that idea has been around forever. Dreamcast VMU, right? Take your game on the go. Like,
yeah, but they've all sucked.
But
they've all sucked.
And the truth is that the Dead Space on my Android device does not suck.
Right.
It's actually pretty good.
Here's the thing. With the idea that Android would be on your TV and Android could be on your phone, and it's the same thing. The only difference is interface.
Right.
And so now it's like the difference between taking your, sorry Microsoft, your Fable on Ouya to your Fable on your Android phone. It's the same game, maybe it's the same, cloud save, but they know it's a different interface. So maybe on this system it's more action oriented, right? But then when you're on the go, it's more, sort of
Maybe
like
it's more
Fable.
like a puzzle, one of the.
Or it's more like management oriented, right?
Yeah.
You're buying parts of the kingdom, you're buying things. I think that I think the whole idea is really exciting. To me, it's these are real opportunities. They're technological opportunities. They're cultural opportunities that we're seeing for gaming right now that are outside of the sort of grip.
There is a portable. I just realized there's a portable. There's a portable Steam box now, which is the Shield.
Sort of. It runs Android.
But that's not called.
It streams.
It streams
from Steam. If you
in
have
big picture mode.
If you have the certain graphics card.
I'm just saying in
on
a way.
Home network.
I'm just saying in a way. Well, come on. But I'm saying you could make the argument that you could take Steam on the road.
It's getting there.
And have it in your living room.
I feel like a lot of stuff again.
I just sounded like I've heard too many keynotes because I sounded just like I was about to introducing
Generation Mobile on the go.
Gen M.
No, my favorite thing at the Samsung press conference is these testimonials that are totally scripted in their video testimonials.
I'm born mobile.
Was it really possible to have a refrigerator? Say the word.
A refrigerator?
Is it really possible to have a refrigerator that brings a family closer together?
Yeah, right. Is it? I don't know.
And then
I don't want to ever find out.
Do you know what I'm gonna say? Let's go here. Talk to your grandparents. Every refrigerator ever since then has brought a family closer together.
That's right.
By definition.
They got to get in there to eat.
And you make dinner with each other.
You're like, Grandma, can you pass me the mayonnaise? I'm making a sandwich. Boom.
No, hold on.
Connected.
Hold on, Josh. I have to go to the ice box out back because we don't have a refrigerator yet.
Hold on. We're actually living in a cave and we don't have a refrigerator.
I'm gonna salt these meats because we don't have a refrigerator.
Hold on. I have to go to the stream where we've kept our food cold and fish it out from our secret hiding place.
This is before time and space exists. And it's cold and hot.
Excuse me, I can't do that because I have no limbs because I'm a single cell amoeba floating in the ocean.
Also, I live in a vacuum because the universe hasn't been created. So, whatever.
So you know what?
Think about it.
You know what, Samsung?
Guys, look.
Yes, a refrigerator can bring a family together.
Long enough timeline, Samsung. Just think about it.
Can we talk about the Oculus Rift?
Fine.
Yes.
Oculus Rift. Oculus
Rift. When I say Oculus, you say Rift.
Oculus
Rift.
Oculus
Rift. So how about this? Think about who here has seen Strange
Oculus.
Days? Rift.
Oculus.
Rift.
Okay.
If you guys are at home watching, if you've seen Strange Days, raise your hand. We'll give you a minute.
I've seen Strange
Oh wait,
Days.
I'm not watching at home.
Yeah,
I've seen it. It's not bad. Catherine
Good
Bigelow.
movie. Catherine Bigelow, yeah. I wrote my college thesis on VR movies. So.
Acclaimed.
Really?
Well, not yet.
Wow.
Existence, VR movies that have virtual reality.
Existence, great Cronenberg. Actually,
the best movie about video games ever made.
Might also be
watched
his
half of that.
Cronenberg's best movie.
One of them.
I actually, it's
Get
surprising.
into that movie.
I like it.
Anyway,
Jude Law, I love Jude Law.
So,
He's great.
Amy.
Do I need to try to
Good
watch
looking.
that again?
Yes, you should watch it again.
just
Absolutely. So
work
here's,
for me.
well, you're wrong. So here's the thing, though. Strange Days. It's Oculus Rift. I foresee a future. Dystopian, utopian, you tell me. I'm not gonna prescribe this.
Flip of the coin, no one knows.
Where we are all fat, slobs hooked up to catheters.
Or they've invented a pill that makes us skinny
maybe
and,
we take the pill.
healthy.
But basically, it's a drug, and we take it as a drug.
Can we talk about this for a second? Can we talk about our experience?
Are you talking about taking entertainment as a drug?
No.
It's drugs.
You're talking the movie Strange
The
Days.
drug is.
He's talking about Strange Days.
The drug is the entertainment.
No,
We're
but-
talking
or
about
is it-
Oculus Rift,
it's
which
the same
is
thing.
this device.
Guys,
Okay, the Oculus Rift is a virtual reality, a fully immersive. Well, you know this. You don't know. You know this too.
It's a heads-up display.
It's not a heads-up display. It's a virtual reality headset.
VR goggles.
It's VR goggles, and it is the exact actual promise of VR that I grew up on, hoping and praying and wishing would happen. It is. I put them on tonight, and I had the most incredible, inspiring, exciting. By the way, I'm like not joking in any way.
he's not serious.
It blew me away on almost every level that I could be blown away on. Like it actually, when I took them off, I felt I had an
It's
experience.
disorienting.
I felt like I had almost like a drug experience that I
told you
came
drugs.
out that I came out of. It's a little. No, I think it's disorienting.
Hold on.
Not just because you're in this other place.
Josh, I think you and I have to get real on this, though.
Yeah.
Paul, I don't want to out you in front of us. Have you ever done acid?
No.
Josh?
Are we? Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Josh and I have,
Shoot.
at times in the past, partaken in hallucinogenic substances.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm just going to straight up on you here.
No, it was.
You take it off, and it's a little bit like when
was-
you come down from an acid
Yes,
high, and you're like,
that's exactly.
Whoa.
I will say this, and I wanted to say it to everybody in the trailer, but I thought this seems inappropriate to say to my coworkers.
so now just say it to the internet.
I was to say it to everybody.
Right.
No, it's like acid. It is like the experience of being out of your head in a way.
Right.
In
Like,
some
I
other
do
world.
get that feeling of like the goggles and my
I don't think, by the way, I don't
my
think this is-
reality is out kind of here at least.
I don't want you to feel somehow left out. I think that the experience is the equivalent. I just think that we have some other thing to compare it
I
to.
have a reference. We have
Yeah.
a shorthand.
You
that
could
we
also
can
say. I mean, there are probably a bunch of-
mescaline. You could also say mescaline.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
I'm not going to just say acid.
a mixture, a 60-40 mixture of ketamine and crystal meth.
Yeah,
Very
sure.
similar.
Guys, I'm not saying it has to be acid.
If you crush weed and turn it into a paste and then just
the Oculus Rift.
paint the paste onto a crack rock. Similar experience.
The Oculus Rift, it's like video goggles.
words
There's
exactly.
like lenses.
You agree, right?
That work as like when you have the goggles on, the screen seems to wrap around your face.
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't seem to. Your whole
No, it
field of
does.
vision. It does wrap around.
But they're like
Peripheral
little
vision.
screens.
Yeah,
There's like lenses that make it all wrap around you.
The effect
It's
is
in
that it is
3D.
You can see maybe a little bit. There's a little bit here, but once you get the effect of, I mean, there's very little breaking your view, and once you
Right.
get the effect, and then the first thing they did was when you put them. I don't know if they did this to you,
Right.
but when I put them on, they said turn around, look behind you, and you do this. And they're like, look all the way behind you, and you go all the way behind you when you turn, and the room, you're looking in a room all the way behind you. I mean,
How about this, though? How about this?
All I want to do is get back to the Oculus
I
Rift
do
right
miss
now.
being in that
no,
reality.
this is like,
And the demo they were doing is like a Unity graphics. It was pretty bad.
yeah,
was empty,
it
though.
was rough, but that's the
Josh,
thing.
go on a mind voyage with me. What if when they told you to turn all the way around, you're turning around slowly, you're like, this is cool. They're like, no, all the way around. So you're like, okay, this is cool. What if when you go all the way around, there's a monster there? Think about it.
No, I thought they were
how
gonna, I
fucked
actually
up
thought,
would you
no,
get?
I was scared. They were like, they said something while I was walking. They're like, go walk down the hallway. I mean, it's so weird, but you start going down this hallway, and they're like, look at the sparks over here, and there's this kind of wire with sparks coming off it, and you go and you because there's like,
Holy shit, a demon!
yeah, no, but I thought that something was gonna jump out at me, and it was because it's so real. It feels so
It's
real
intense, man.
when you're in it.
You know what I thought? You know what I was thinking about when I was playing it? I
How
was thinking-
excited! Look how excited Tyler is. Look at this.
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking System Shock 2. That game freaked me out.
I've never played
That
it.
game has 8 polygons in it,
Right.
and it's like terrifying.
Well,
Shodan's all like,
I just
"Brr,"
want
and
to
you're like,
clarify for if someone hasn't used this, you put
Well,
goggles on.
everyone hasn't used this.
You put goggles on, you are in this universe, and these are crappy graphics. The sparks are like one little sprite that are making
but your
sparks.
brain, it's like your
I was like,
brain,
when you-
it's
when
like
you
your
move-
brain stitches together it
Well,
in a way.
It's very basic.
16 frames a second is all we need.
When your head moves around, it pans around the camera.
And so I have to say, I mean,
and when you put it on, it's exactly what you expected. Like, I was not surprised at all. It's like, oh, this is what we've been waiting for.
Yes.
And I put it on, and it worked exactly right.
And the sensing was so latency free. And I just want to say, this
looking around.
This device, by the way, dev kits are going on sale for $300. In March.
And
$300.
And then they're going to double the resolution.
They're going to double it to 1080. I mean, here's the $300. This is. I get in line. By the way, I'm not paid to endorse this product. I've just never been more excited. I can't remember the last time. I think the last time I was this excited at CES was Fallout 3 is amazing. Can you imagine Fallout 3 in the Oculus Rift? I mean, that to me is that is it. Like my life, just give me some sort of some feeding tube or something. Give me the Oculus Rift and Fallout 3, and I'm done.
So think about this though. Like the guy, one of the most interesting things about the story, and this gets back to why CES is exciting.
Yeah,
this is.
I want to talk about this.
You know, like it's not even here, but like that set some sort of a stage, set a tone for a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Oculus Rift is like Josh Topolsky goes on TV and talks about technology for a living, and he's pumped about a Kickstarter project for virtual reality goggles.
And it's
that nobody this dude made it, and he was going to sell it on Kickstarter as a kit that you could make at home. And it wasn't until John Carmack, who's experimented with, and I will also say this, Verge had the story on this originally with Carmack and everything months back. Carmack heard about it, and he's been interested in VR for a long time. It's just never worked.
Yeah.
And he saw this guy's stuff, and he thought, like, this needs to be a real product. Like, we will support this.
Yeah.
And like, what was crazy about that to me was that this guy, whose name was Ryan, I forget his name, the creator of it, his passion was VR. He said he has a massive collection of VR headsets. The only difference was that every other company that wanted VR gave up years ago.
Yeah.
The technology was there.
No, I mean, this
and
was
now
a
mobile
dream.
technology.
I grew up on the dream.
Everybody grew up on the dream
of this.
and
we're going to have these virtual reality headsets,
think
and we're going to be living in these. You know, we're going to have Second Life was. I thought that was going to be somebody is going to come up with this, and we're going to go into. We're going to be living in Second Life. It's going to be what they promised, because we're going to have VR headsets and gloves. We're going to be that power glove, that power glove.
Yes,
you
power
know.
glove. But think about how much. To Chris's point, think about how much money Samsung has invested in its new 4K TVs and the special upscaling algorithms for taking 1080p to 4K, and how awesome that is. And it's like, and then one guy builds video.
What's exciting to me is that Samsung wants to talk to me about, in Sony, 4K. I could, like, literally the amount I care, you can't even measure it.
You know what, and this is exactly when I wrote this thing, and when we came here, we talked about it the first night. I said, I feel like this is a place where I feel like CES, you can be down on it, you can be bitter about it, you can, you know.
Because it's normally terrible.
It can be very bad. Qualcomm showed it can be
when it's bad,
the worst.
Yeah.
But there are. I said this I was talking to Dieter outside. I think that there are weeds that grow through the cracks here, and I think if all you see is the concrete, you're missing what's exciting about technology and what's exciting about our culture. And I think that this is, Dieter and I had a lengthy conversation about this earlier. This is, shows so much how this culture, our modern culture and our modern life is evolving. This show is, yes, it's a corporate show. Yes, there are corporations here trying to sell you stuff. Yes, much of what is here is garbage. You know what?
Private holdings.
Much of what is out there in life is garbage. But there are
get real, folks.
It's real talk. But there are transcendent. There are things that transcend the garbage. There are things that.
But the fact that those things are
things that
made by
dudes,
the
garbage.
They rift. I don't think they create a rift within the sidewalk of garbage and allow
which an Oculus weed.
A weed grows through and blossoms into a beautiful flower, and that is happening. It's actually happening right this second here at this show. I don't need to promote CES. I'm having an awesome time here today. I thought we had an amazing time with this amazing like scoops.
Guys, I
and
hate
stories.
CES. I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate it so much.
And
I'm really enjoying this year.
Right. I have to say, it's weird. It's almost like this is the best CES ever.
What is wrong with us?
I don't know.
You know
but
what?
I mean,
You know
I'm
what?
loving it.
What really turned around CES for me is that I lost my glasses on
cool.
the first day.
Yeah.
And I just found them today.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Where'd
I've
you
had my
find- where-
glasses
hold on, where
today,
did
and
you-
it's way easier for me to write when I'm writing, and I can also read what I'm writing.
Yeah.
Where did you find your glasses? Was this
They
like a
were in
Good
between
Samaritan
the
store?
bed and the
Oh, geez,
the
that doesn't
nightstand.
count. I thought you meant
We only have a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But I actually just want to say, I'm so excited right now. I mean, we may not find any other amazing things, but the fact that there was
This
even
stuff's cool.
the fact that there's even one here and that I'm this excited about it, I think is a sign. We still are we're so on the just in the earliest stages of all of this stuff. You know, what the Oculus Rift will be in 2 years or 5 years, I can't even imagine.
Man, when that thing wirelessly hooks up to my iPhone and I'm playing,
and it's just a pair of glasses instead of this huge headset, because that's where that's headed.
Right.
You're gonna put on a pair of eyeglasses and it's
I wonder
gonna.
if he's got a patent. I hope he has a patent.
I hope he has a patent too, because he
That's gonna,
deserves.
like,
Because he
disappear.
deserves every patent you could possibly
have you
give
ever
to
tried
anything
Sony's?
ever.
Have you tried Sony's 1080p 3D?
Oh,
No, but it's
They're
not. It's
they're
not
not very good.
No,
They are
it's
very
not.
good.
It's not. This is a whole different. This is an immersive. But
awesome.
I just think that.
And I will say, my first encounter with the Oculus Rift is everybody's in this room laughing and having a great time. Josh is yelling about how much fun he's having.
I
and
totally
it's
lost it.
hard to get into the room because it's so crowded.
This is here at our trailer.
I open it up, and Josh is in there, and
like
he's
Fire
got these
Marshal.
goggles, and I keep on thinking that you're looking at me. Because if you point, if you look up and the goggles are pointing at me, it looks
Yeah.
like you're looking at me.
Yeah.
And I had to keep on remembering, no, Josh is totally gone.
Yeah,
Josh
and I
is
was
totally somewhere else right now.
I felt myself
like this is going to be horrible for
and now-
relationships.
And I felt myself at that moment.
You need a refrigerator to bring your family.
I
back together.
really just
When this thing comes out.
if your relationships are being damaged by Oculus Rift, if it's causing a rift
Get a
in your
Samsung
family's
refrigerator.
relationship, the balance will be restored if you have the Samsung refrigerator.
I didn't know what the Rift meant. I know, like, Oculus, I get it. I
Rift.
didn't understand the Rift.
It's because of a rift in your relationship.
Because you can't love anymore.
Yeah.
I only used it for about 3 minutes when I came out.
No,
I kept
everything
thinking,
else
like,
was garbage. Everything else in the world was shit. I don't want this. I don't want this anymore.
It was like an inception. I had an inception planted in my head. I had been incepted into thinking the world wasn't real anymore.
I did have that same thought. I thought
go
for a second,
back.
when I came out, I thought I need to get back,
go back to
And
there.
Is what I'm seeing now? Is that the real thing? And have I been looking at a fake thing this whole time? Actually, it's kind of like in Star Trek Generations.
I just watched that when I was sick the other week.
So you know the plot,
know
right?
I love it.
And basically, do you know the plot of Star
Which
Trek?
one is it?
It's the one where
Malcolm McDowell and
it's the one
Kirk
where
and- yeah.
Picard and Kirk meet.
The Nexus, yeah.
Okay, I'll just give you the broad outline because Paul doesn't know if you haven't seen it.
Can I get some water, please?
So, long story short, there's a thing that's going to destroy the universe,
All right.
but that thing is called the Nexus, right?
Yeah.
The ribbon.
Yeah.
And what it is
That was just spoken to our ear, by the way.
and when you get caught
Can you give us a
caught
podcast?
in this planet destroying ribbon, you are taken to essentially heaven. It's heaven. Okay. It's a ribbon of heaven moving throughout the galaxy that is killing everything in its path. But is it certain people or just things that can get into it? It doesn't put everybody into it.
I don't remember.
We don't know all the details.
So
the point is,
I just watched it. Doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense.
It doesn't make sense. But in essence, what's happening is, let's just say this: it's a force of the galaxy that is destroying planets and solar systems. But if you get caught in it somehow, there's certain circumstances, you sort of go into the most perfect place in perpetuity until the end of time. And Picard
I see where this is
gets
going.
sucked into it, and
I see where this is going.
finds Kirk, who is
Splitting wood.
who should have died, who'd
been dead for
who had been reported
seemingly.
dead because of an encounter with the ribbon, the Nexus, and Malcolm McDowell is a mad scientist who is unlearned of the properties and was once in there with Whoopi Goldberg's character, who is, what is her name? Guinan, right, Guinan. And Guinan, who was a character on the show forever on The Next Generation, and you suddenly get this huge backstory about how her and Picard, Picard actually know each other, right? This is a big thing that they'd been in the Nexus before together, or she'd been in the Nexus, right? It's her backstory.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I don't know why this is. The point
What
is,
you trying to say?
if you go into the Nexus, it drove Malcolm McDowell insane because once he got spit out, all he wanted, it was like heroin.
What
he
Josh
just wanted
is trying
to go
say
back to it.
Is that for Captain Kirk, the perfect world was splitting wood, making breakfast for his wife who had died, and he was in this beautiful house in the woods.
Like in
that was his
Colorado.
for Josh, his perfect. The perfect environment for him is in an abandoned space station with some sparks.
Space bomb.
Yeah, a little sprite of sparks.
And there's some steam that comes out of some.
And you can turn your head all the way around.
And a palpable sense of dread.
Yeah.
That a demon is going to attack you.
That there's somewhere in that world a monster closet.
If you don't get attacked by a demon,
By the way, Josh,
you've done something wrong.
I heard the guy mention paranormal, or was it? No, what's that game called?
Dead Space.
It's Asylum. I heard that guy.
That's not a game.
Asylum?
No. No, what's the scary?
Silent Hill.
The scary,
Resident Evil.
No, the scary PC game.
Amnesia.
Amnesia.
What is
Asylum,
Amnesia?
Amnesia.
You
Should I play it?
You would. Yes, you have to.
Amnesia's gonna freak you out.
Wait
Is it out?
Wait,
Oh, yeah.
No, wait to get your Oculus Rift.
Is it compatible with it?
Play,
Oh, dude, if they made it compatible with it,
That's what he was talking about.
You would die. You would literally die.
play it on your
from
die
terror. No, do it. You say no. Is it
If
good?
you play it
Have
on
you
your
played Amnesia?
if you play it on
You
your
would die and then
computer,
you'd go to that.
Dude, I need to
freak
play.
out.
Well, how do I not know about Amnesia?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Maybe I knew about it, and I have amnesia.
A lot of people think of it as like the scariest game.
Sequel's coming out soon.
I gotta play it.
We're putting it on.
I gotta play it. We gotta wrap up.
Cool.
We gotta wrap up. We can't get to this other
iPhone,
stuff.
Facebook.
Oh yeah,
Facebook.
apparently it's a new iPhone or something.
iPhone, Facebook.
Okay, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk. All I want to do is continue to talk about the Oculus Rift, and we can't keep going. What's happening?
Top shelf.
That's not right.
Time for top shelf. I guess let's do top shelf, guys. What are our topics?
No, it's been a crazy day in
Oh,
news.
man.
All right, we're wrapping up. Because we got a plan for tomorrow, and I have to go.
We have to find out
I have
where
to go
Neil
hunt down
is.
the Oculus Rift.
Where is Neil?
He probably got caught in the Nexus, and he's chopping wood in Colorado.
No, you know what Neil's perfect heaven is? He's debating some kind of patent issue.
Full circle.
No. He's debating patent law between the Clash and the Rolling Stones.
Yeah,
Like, he's in an argument, a three-way argument.
The Rolling Stones have infringed on the Clash's patent in some way, and Eli must represent both sides in the argument.
And the patent was for TVs that bring your family together.
Yes!
Wrapped it up. Closing it out.
Good job.
I think the patent would be for something like an IR blaster, which is one of Eli's pet, or a FireWire. A patent on FireWire that the Rolling Stones held.
IR over FireWire.
These guys know what we mean. All right, that's the Vergecast. CES day one. Thank you to Chris Grant for joining us. I mean, I have to say, you really should do more Vergecasting.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. You're damn good at it.
Wow.
Maybe I'll buy you a drink later.
I
can tell you just how good you are.
I can leave.
No, stay. I think we both prefer you stay. Anyhow, if you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at vergecast@theverge.com. You can leave a comment when this insane hell ride goes up, or you can find us on Twitter. I'm Joshua Topolsky. Paul's Future Paul. I mean, it's like throwing money down into a well or something. and Chris is Chris Grant.
You got it.
Right?
That's it.
I always think it's going to be his your Xbox name.
I used to be Future Paul on Twitter, and I was hanging out with Chris Grant, and he was trying to tweet at me. We were bowling.
We were bowling in Philadelphia.
Yeah. And he was like,
Which is also the name of my new romantic
Wait, you're not Future Paul?
I could never remember your Twitter handle. And I was like, fine.
Wait, you're not Future Paul?
I wasn't
Future
Future
Paul.
Paul.
He was.
I was Josiah Miller.
Josiah
was my
Miller.
middle
Awful.
name.
The worst.
Nobody could ever
And I was like,
remember
let me tweet at you. What's your... Wait, what?
Josiah.
change it, and he changed it.
So I changed it.
So-
It's all thanks to this
Are
guy.
there any Zebediahs in your family?
No. There's a Zachary.
Not good.
That doesn't
Not as
count.
good. All right, that's it. We'll be back tomorrow, but we'll be back painfully, for me at least. I'll be back at 8 in the morning on 8 in the morning Pacific, 11 East Coast for First. We've got Top Shelf 90 tomorrow, and then a ton more news. Believe me, things are not done. So. Thanks for watching, and I'm sure you and your family will enjoy their time around the refrigerator, all wearing Oculus Rift. Do we say rock and roll?
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
When I say Oculus, you say
Rift. Oculus.
Rift.
Oculus.
Rift.